Hey, have you ever had a case like this where someone seats the band in the impression and it comes out, you receive the case and it looks like this, and it's a complete disaster? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you a couple different techniques on how to save this band and actually make it functional. These cases are interesting because it's not only a good learning experience, instead of making it a negative, turn it into a positive. And how this is a good case that you can make yourself look like a hero. If you can get this case to work, you become much more valuable to your orthodontic office. And it's also a good learning experience, and it's also a show and tell. The good news is this patient is going to come back to seat this appliance, so no matter what, they're going to be making that appointment anyway. So let's try to get this to fit and save the day. What I always like to do when bands are this bad and you know that there's a possibility that it's not going to work, to document everything by taking good pictures and showing the doctor. And it's a good chance to, what you want to do is take a bunch of different angles, take pictures of, to show that the band is obviously not seated. And what you'd like to do is give the doctor the option and say, hey, do you want me to try to fix this, or do you want to just start over? And if the doctor agrees with you that, well, the patient's coming in anyway, and if you think you can fix it, go for it, at least they have a clear understanding that there's a chance that it might not work. But with cases like this, where it's not the end of the world, it could be a lot worse. There's I would say, 95% chance that you're going to be able to fix this. And like I said, you're going to make yourself a hero, which turns you into a much valuable lab tech. So let's begin. This is what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my margins to show you where not to cut into, because this is where my band's going to seat. So you definitely want to mark where you have your actual tooth showing, because that's where, when I do cut this guy out, this is all going to become frail. So ideally you want to really remove this as careful as possible. I'm going to put a cut in here with a diamond burr. I'm going to cut this right here, and I'm going to dig all this out. And what I like to do is just use a knife to cut it out. So somewhere back here is the actual band, and it's buried. So I'll begin the procedure to get rid of this. But I do want to save that distal margin. Now this is a little tedious doing it this way, but you don't want to cause any more harm to the band or the impression. I could take a handpiece and just blast this out, but it might do way too much more damage. And how this typically ends up happening is because the person who stuck it in the impression put it in the wrong spot, or they had their vibrator on really, really high and it just vibrated it right out and they didn't secure it. And there's different ways to secure a band into an impression. So from here, what I'm going to do, I lost my margin, but I'm going to put a diamond cut right here. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to saw it out. because I know I don't want to lose that mesial. I just broke a piece off. So I have a clean cut, and I will slowly, carefully remove this band. This one's so bad that it's actually upside down. Now I lost my mesial, and this comes out, but that's alright, because I still have my distal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my distal. The best chance to getting the greatest opportunity for the band to fit correctly is if you had an extra band. But in this case, you would just take the new band and reseat it. In this case, I don't have an extra band because the doctor didn't send it, and I have to make this band work. So I'm going to put it back together. And by doing that, I'm spot welding. You can see the gap right there that I cut, so the diamond disc is about that much. So I'm going to add that to it. And in this case, it's better to go a little bit larger than it is a little smaller. So now my band is back into shape. It's been spot welded. And I'm going to run my solder joint right through here anyway with my appliance, so it's not really going to matter about how strong this weld is because it's all going to be melded into one with silver solder. So back to my model. Obviously the mesial is gone, but I still have the distal and enough of the buccal and lingual surface to tell me where to seat my band. So when I'm going to go seat it, I will put it and match it up where it should go. And there it is seated back into place. If this appliance is for a TPA, you have a really good success rate because there's so much play, or a lingual arch. If it's for a Hyrax, your odds are more like 80% chance of this working. Now, like I said, I'm in the right position for the mesial and the distal, and what I would do, if let's say I was going to make a Hyrax for this case, I would glue it into place with an activator, and I would put it right into place. So now you're ready to go ahead and make your appliance, and the odds are it's going to fit pretty good. And this way you become the hero and save a lot of trouble of having that patient come back and have to take new impressions, take new bands, save a lot of chair time, and the doctor will be very impressed. So good luck with these cases. If you have any questions, give me a shout out. Like, subscribe to the channel. Totally appreciate your following. And make sure you share it. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.